Hello and a big welcome to all our schools from Virginia Beach, Shelton, Greenhorn and Greenwood elementary schools today. My name is Brent March. I have Dangerous Dave on camera, and hidden in the tree next to us is a beautiful young male leopard. He's just over 2 years old, and he's caught himself an antelope called a bushbuck. And the reason he's put it in the tree is so that the hyenas can't steal it from him. Right, there we go. You can see it's not the biggest tree. So what happened, I think, is he had to put it up the tree in a big hurry while being chased by a hyena. But now he's managing to snack on it a little bit. One of the nice things for leopards about keeping their kills in the trees is that, apart from the fact that no one can steal it from you, you don't have to eat it as fast as possible. You can take your time and eat it in little goes because you're not at risk of losing it. So he's about 2 years old. His name is Hosana, which means the little chief. And he is one of my favorite leopards, so always great to spend time with Hosana, even though he's showing one of the most important things a leopard has in its defensive and offensive arsenal, and that's his camouflage. You can see even in a green tree, those black rosettes and yellow coloring help break up his outline and make him nearly invisible. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so while I sit here with this beautiful leopard, I'm going to give all you guys a chance to get your leopard questions ready. So get your leopard questions ready. Next time you come to see me, I'll be waiting to hear all your wonderful questions. But in the meantime, Scott's got something that's the biggest thing out here in the African bush. Well, Hosana is still chewing on that young bushbuck. And every now and then he nearly falls out of the tree because it's not in the best spot, that young bushbuck. Unfortunately for him, as I said, I think he put that meat in a big rush up the tree when the hyenas were around. Hello, Haley. Haley is wondering, what do leopards eat? Well, Haley, you can see they've got big teeth, and he's eating another antelope. Antelope that's probably a bit smaller than a white-tailed deer called a bushbuck. And so leopards eat meat. It means they are carnivores. So carnivores eat meat, and herbivores eat trees or grasses. Now, I've got a question for all of you in Virginia Beach. I hope you guys are ready. Are you ready? I want to get these questions through to your teachers as fast as possible. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be the smartest? If carnivores eat meat and herbivores eat trees and leaves, what do omnivores eat? Now, get the answer to your teacher, and let's see who's going to be correct first. Kevin is wondering, do all leopards hunt for food? Yes, they do. They hunt what we would call small to medium-sized antelope. They'll also hunt pigs like warthog, and even sometimes big lizards or little crocodiles. But yes, all leopards in the wild will hunt for their own food. Now you can see when he turns his head sideways like that, he's using his special teeth that are like a really sharp pair of scissors to cut through the skin so he can get to the meat. Now, Ashley's wondering, why do leopards have spots? Well, Ashley, it's to help them with camouflage. So the spots and rosettes help break out their outline, which helps them to hide when they're trying to catch their dinner. So it helps them to sort of disappear and merge into the bush, and it helps them when they're hunting. So they have the spots to help with camouflage. So Dave's going to show you now, as he goes a little bit wider, you can see how those spots help hide the leopard. If we go even a little bit wider, the leopard almost disappears. So that's what those spots do. It's to help it hide away so it's easy, so it can catch animals more easily, or so it can hide from other animals that might want to hurt it, like lions or hyenas. Well done, Kyra. Kyra was the first person to get what is an omnivore, and you are spot on. It is something that eats both meat and vegetable matter, so both plants and animals. And guess what? Human beings are omnivores because we eat veggies and we eat meat. Well, some of us eat both. Some of us only eat one. There we go. You can see his tail hanging there. Now, a leopard's tail is quite important. It helps with balance when he's climbing, and it also can help. Oh, there it goes. It also, when mummy leopard's got babies, it helps the babies to follow her through the bush. Now, Steve's got another kind of leopard, and I bet you never knew there was a reptilian leopard. Well, there we go. It seems like the leopard tortoise was trying to hide under Steve's car. Now, of course, they get their name, leopard tortoise, from their pretty markings on their shell that resembles leopard spots. And there we go. You can see those big, long teeth on the leopard. And I wonder if anyone knows the name of those teeth. If you know the name of the long white teeth that you can see there, let me know. Tell your teacher, what are those long teeth called? Now, your dog at home will also have them. So most predators have it. Well, hello, Atticus and Elena. Atticus and Elena would like to know, how do leopards climb trees? Now, they use their incredible strength and their claws. So you can't see at the moment there on his foot, but he's got very big claws that he will sink into the bark and then use his muscles to pull him up the tree. Now, leopards often like to leave their kills in trees that have got lots of leaves like this, so vultures can't spot it, and because even birds can steal the food from the leopards, because sometimes when he's eating his meat, he might get a bit thirsty, so he'll leave it up in the tree and wander off to go get a drink, and he comes back, and the birds have eaten it all. So that's why they're like thicker trees, and they've got a bit of cover in them, that the kill is hidden from even predatory birds. Now, Theo would like to know, how fast can a leopard run? And the answer is very fast. Now, but they can't run very fast for very long. So their top speed is between 22 and 24 meters per second. But they can only do that for about 10 meters or so. And they are ambush predators. So they stay very still, and they'll try to sneak on their tummies, just like your cat would, and they'll sneak very close to whatever they are trying to catch, and then they leap at that incredibly fast speed, which is around 70 kilometers an hour if you have to do it that way, but 24 meters per second. Normally a leopard will only pounce on a prey item when it is less than 5 meters away. Ooh, Lincoln Park Elementary has given an answer for the teeth, and it's a very good guess, but unfortunately it's wrong. It is not incisors. So you've got a few more guesses to go. Who's going to be first? So unfortunately it is not incisors. I will show you his incisors now if he lets us. Is he going to let us, Dave, or do I need to move the car? Oh dear. So his incisors are between the long white teeth. They're those small little ones that are between the long white teeth in the front. Oh, Aubrey, difficult question. You're going to catch me out here. How many teeth does a leopard have? I've got to remember now. So it's 4, 12. I'm not 100% sure, but if I remember correctly, I think it's 16. So 4 long white ones, because I'm not going to give the name away, and then 8 incisors, 2 premolars, 2 molars. Is that 18 or 16? Let me try to start again. Okay, so well, he's come down the tree faster than Steve could, and he's left some meat up there, but he's decided he's had enough snacking for now, so he's just relaxing at the base of the tree he was climbing in. Now, Steve was teaching you lots about trees there, and he was teaching you about the marilla tree. Now, as I said, the leopard was in a tree called a tumbuti tree, and I'm just going to move the car. We're not going to look at the tumbuti tree that's really close to the leopard. We're going to look at this tumbuti tree over here. Let me just swing around. Get us a little bit closer to one. Now, when you pick the leaves of the tumbuti tree, you've got to be very careful, because they've got poison in them. Oh, dangerous. Doop. Okay. Oh, that one's not... Oh, no, the wind took it away. Okay, let's try that again. Let me try a little branch this time. Might work a bit. There we go. I'll hold it there. Now, if you look very carefully, you see there's some white, milky stuff coming out of the branch. Now, that is very, very poisonous. It will burn your skin. Now, in traditional African medicine, it can be used to burn warts off people, and then also certain animals use it as medicine. So giraffe and kudu and black rhino, if they've got lots of bad worms in their tummy, they will actually eat this, and it'll poison the worms in their tummy. They'll only eat a little bit of it, and then they'll get sick from that, and they get rid of all their bad worms. So that's the tumbuti tree. So you've got to be quite careful when you hold it. So I'm going to put that away so I don't burn myself with the milky latex, is what it's called. Now, most trees that have that milky latex can be possibly dangerous. There are a few that are not, but a lot of the trees that have milky latex can be dangerous for people. There we go. You can see even how his camouflage works on the ground next to the elephant dung. Hello, Gabby. Gabby would like to know, do all leopards have the same spots? No, they don't, Gabby. Each individual leopard has its own unique set of spots. Just like we've got our own unique fingerprints, they've got their own unique spots. You can see him breathing heavily. Now imagine if you've just eaten a big dinner or a big lunch, and your tummy's very full, and you get lazy and you want to go have a nap. That's what he's doing right now. Now, he'll probably finish this today, and then he might even hunt again tomorrow. Hello, Reimer. Reimer's wondering, how old do leopards live? Well, it all depends, Reimer, but in the wild, male leopards will normally live to about 12 or 13 years old, and females to about 15 years old. So, and that's normally, but it all depends. Sometimes they do get killed when they're much younger, or when they are a lot older. His mom, I think, lived to 13, if I remember correctly. But his great-grandmother lived to sort of 17, so it all depends. Or his grandmother, not his great-grandmother. Now, a lot of you out there at Linkhorn Park are wondering what is the difference between a cheetah and a leopard. Well, a leopard has got rosettes, so it doesn't have individual spots. It's got little groupings of spots called a rosette. A cheetah is much taller, much skinnier. Its head is much rounder. But if we look at the rosettes, you can see some nice ones on his back there. That will show you very clearly. Those are rosettes, not individual spots. Let me see. I think I have a cheetah around here somewhere. Okay, so there we go. That is a cheetah. So, and you can see leopards like living where there are trees and stuff like that. And you can see the cheetahs out in the big open grassland. And you can see individual spots rather than rosettes. And you see around its eyes, it's got that black, almost tear mark coming down around its eyes, which means it is more of a diurnal or crepuscular hunter, which means it likes to hunt in the day more, and that dark helps to deal with the sun. So it's like a cheetah's sunglasses, whereas leopards and lions have light coloring under their eyes, which helps them see better at night, like night vision glasses. So that's one of the differences between the cheetah and the leopard. Jacoby is wondering why is he breathing so hard. As I was just saying, Jacoby, it's because his tummy's full and digestion causes heat, and he's trying to expel that heat by breathing. So leopards can't sweat, so how they keep cool is to breathe heavily and bring cool air over the blood vessels in their mouth. Oh, well, Cleghorn is wondering about the Tumbuti trees. Well, there's some bigger ones, the ones that are next to him. You can see they've got bark that looks a little bit like a crocodile's skin. And you guys are wondering whether they only occur in Africa. They do only occur in Africa, so they don't occur anywhere else or any other continent, but they occur along the more arid parts of Africa through southern and east Africa, the Tumbuti tree. Well, it seems like Steve has made his way down the tree, but he's climbed up on top of something else. Hi, everyone. And you can see Hosana has found himself a pillow. He's very much enjoying that Tumbuti branch. He's lying right up against it, using it as a headrest. Looking very, very comfortable. Little Hosana. Well, not so little Hosana anymore. Isn't he? Turning into quite the large chap. I still think his half-brother, or Quarantine, was slightly bigger at this age. But I'm not 100% sure. It was a long time ago that Quarantine was a little leopard. Trying to get comfortable with that very fat belly of his. Well, hello, Shawshank. Yes, indeed, it is Brent. It's Brent with a haircut. Yes, I'm here. I'm back at Djuma for a while, and yes, it's great to be back. And my first leopard is Hosana. It's my third drive, I think, back at Djuma. So thoroughly enjoying being back in the low veld. and spending some time with one of my favorite leopards in the world. The little chief of Djuma. Well, probably not, unfortunately, not forever, as in not too long, young Hosana is going to have to make his way in the world and go find a territory of his own. If he's lucky, like Quarantine, who I was just mentioning, he won't have to move too far. If he's unlucky, he might have to go very, very far. As you think about it, both Quarantine and Djuma got quite lucky that they didn't have to move too far from their natal range. Ladybird's wondering how long is Hosana, with or without his tail, Ladybird. Without his tail, he's probably about 1.2 meters, 1.3 meters long. With his tail, he'll be well over 2. Say he probably weighs around 65 to 70 kilograms, or between 60 and 70 kilograms at the moment. And once he's fully grown, difficult to be 100% sure, but I think he'll probably weigh around 80 odd kilograms once he's fully grown. Be interesting to see. And as I say, we can never be 100% sure who the dad is. It's most likely to be Tingana, but Karula also mated with Djuma and Anderson during that time period. So it's going to be, I'd say, just due to the frequency of mating with Tingana, it's most likely Tingana, but it could be one of the other males. Now, Ravinda said, I saw some micro spots on his nose. How useful are those going to be for ID? I'm sure they could be useful, but the problem with noses is they tend to get ripped up and torn up in fights and when feeding and that. And that's why those spot patterns just above his top lip. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. You can see, there we go, on his left, there are 3 spots above the last line of whiskers. Those are the best in terms of ID. Now, also, there's a couple of different distinguishing features on Hosana, and well, if you spend as much time with the leopards as we have, I mean, this morning I haven't seen Hosana in a year, and I managed to say, oh, who's that? Ah, it's Hosana. You can just see the shape of his face as well. Now, as I say, I think he's going to be quite lazy for the rest of the afternoon, so I'm probably going to take a little wander around. Ah, we have a new viewer and a very, very good afternoon. Well, if you're in Africa, to Hayward. It could be morning, noon, or night if you're somewhere else in the world. And Hayward's wondering, where exactly are we in Africa? Well, this young leopard is sitting in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve, which is in the eastern or northeastern part of South Africa, in the province of Mpumalanga. Now, Mpumalanga means where the sun rises. Mpuma is to come out, and Langa is sun. So where the sun rises is the east, so in the northeast of South Africa. The Sabi Sands Game Reserve is open to the Greater Kruger National Park, so it is part of a 2.7 million hectare unfenced open natural ecosystem where these animals are able to wander wild and free. So I hope that helps Hayward, and a big welcome to the Safari Live family. I hope you keep joining us on these live African safaris. Now, as I said, he's been quite a lazy kitty, and I'm going to go take a little wander about to see if I can find anything else. It's quite a tight little section in here, and there are some other game drive vehicles who are going to be coming to enjoy Hosana. Probably come back a little bit later, but in the meantime, let's send you across to Scott to see what's happening with that African Harrier hawk.